Guys, we got to have a tough conversation today. Hopefully, you guys came prepared. This is not going to be a fun, laughter, entertaining video. This might turn into a massive rant, or it might not be. I don't really know what I'm going to say, but this needs to be talked about. But before we get too far into the video, I needed to make a disclaimer. I need you guys to take off your liberal hat, take off your conservative hat, and just pay attention to what's being said logically. Because in the direction that America is going, it's almost at the point of no return. So here we go. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, like the video. This is finna get rough.
And laying off 1,200 workers after closing its pork factory in Perry, Iowa, only later to announce 52,000 jobs for migrants.
The company's excuse: migrants are getting the jobs that Americans don't want. A human resources executive for the company telling Bloomberg the migrants have been, quote, very loyal. They've been uprooted, and what they want is stability. What they want is a sense of belonging.
Let's bring it.
Now, there's some truth to that, and I'm going to get into that in a second, because they're not entirely wrong. There's a plumber shortage that we're going to examine an article and break down why there's a shortage in these particular fields. But they're not lying. Many of the Americans today, they want to work, right? They don't want to work blue collar jobs, even though blue collar men, that's the quickest way to make six figures, is to work blue collar, driving a truck, having your own electrician business, having your own HVAC business, being a construction worker. Like, yeah, it's hard work, but it pays, and you'll always have a job. A barber will always have a job. A textile worker will always have a job. You work in a food place like Tyson Food, you always have a job, unless you're an American, right? We live in a time now where our leadership puts everybody else first before the American people. We put Ukraine first. We put Israel first. American people are like the third or fourth or fifth priority to its own country. It's amazing where we are right now.
And Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete, good to see you.
Yes.
But again, lower wages, taking American jobs. This was the reason why Democrats were opposed to illegal immigration 10, 15, 25 years ago. But here it plays out. This costs Americans a livelihood.
That's true. It was also the reason why the Chamber of Commerce crowd of the Republican Party was so resistant to Donald Trump back in 2015, 2016, dependent on importing cheap labor. He said, we're going to build that wall. We're going to stop this. I'm going to put Americans first. Wages will rise as a result. And now you've got an inversion of that with the Democrat Party saying, come on in. And then we've heard glimpses of it, right? When Nancy Pelosi said, who else is going to pick our crops, right? I mean, that's their mindset. And the businesses are happy to do it when there's no e-verifier, there's no consequences. And so cheaper labor for this business to produce a product. And it's not an easy job. You know, people that do those jobs, they're dirty, they're tough, but Americans should have the first shot, and they should have a good shot at a good wage.
And it's so.
With Tyson Foods doing this, and I'm sure this is just the first domino to fall. With them doing this, this just made so many Americans irrelevant. This just honestly just made the American dream damn near impossible, because the migrants are going to take your job, and they're going to do a better job than you, but they're going to do it for less money. See, as an American, We know the cost of living is too high to be working at $15 an hour. So we're going to unionize and, because we know what's going on. The migrants, they think that $10 is way better than that 50 cents a day they used to get back in their country. They're just going to shack up, in one house, pay it off. So this is going to cause wages to stagnate. And if you're in a university or whatnot, if you're not in tech, engineering, law, medical, and you just think you're just going to come out here, because it's going to get to the point where migrants are going to run everything. It's already happening in your tech. When you call customer service, who answers the phone? An Indian person. And no disrespect to my Indian people, because I'm cool with some of them, but there's nothing more annoying in the world when you have a serious problem that you need to be fixed and you want it fixed quickly as possible, but you have to be on a phone call with somebody and you have to decipher what their language is. It's going to get to a point where the police are migrants. It's going to get to the point where the plumber, the electrician is a migrant. And you're not going to know what the hell they're talking about. And having a language barrier, that's a huge barrier. This is the trajectory that we're going into. Now, from a business perspective, it makes perfect sense. You're trying to maximize profit and pay the people just enough so they stay. But that just killed the American dream, because the cost of living is going to keep rising, but the jobs are not going to catch up with inflation or the cost of living, because the migrants are going to take your job and do it better for less money, right? And another reason why they're letting the migrants come over is because of the feminism. American women don't want to have children. So if they don't want to have children, or they're, deleting them by abortion, our population is going to decline. So at this point, they probably said, screw it. We probably ain't have a choice. This is the trajectory that we're heading into.
Dismissive. The language that they use, that Americans don't want these jobs. Really?
Americans had these jobs,
right?
And they lost them.
Correct.
Exactly.
And if you thought about paying,
Exactly. With the Tyson food thing, they intentionally laid off American workers, 52,000 of them, and hired migrants.
Americans are doing the jobs. They're going to raise the wages for the jobs too. That's all good for everybody.
Yeah. Shifting gears.
Exactly. Let's get to this labor shortage, right? This is some more important information we need to look at. The plumbing labor shortage. So some of you guys want to buy houses, right? Very good. Well, you're going to need maintenance on the house, correct? This is where your plumbers come in. So finding, hiring, and retaining qualified pros to affect many trades, including plumbing and construction workers, report 55% shortage of plumbers available for work training. Let me zoom in for you guys. In March, in 2021, a staffing company called People Ready reported that job postings for plumbing apprentices are sitting unfulfilled for an average of 29 days. This lack of skilled labor is straining current plumbers in multiple fronts. So this is why you guys have delays. Your toilet gets clogged up. Your washing machine gets clogged up, and you need somebody to come out there immediately. This is why people with houses, you're running into, it's taking a week for somebody to get out there to fix it. So let's get into what caused the labor shortage, the Great Recession. But this is the more important: an aging workforce, As many baby boomers continue to retire from the trade, fewer young people are entering the trade. In construction, 22% of the workforce is on its way to retirement, and a smaller group of young people are taking their place, according to this study. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Emphasis on college. Greater focus on college education has contributed to trades' decline in popularity. High schools emphasize four-year degrees and universities making them the social standard for post-secondary education. Trade schools did not receive the same prioritization and gained the stigma of being a less attractive path for a career. This is why it's been, like they said, it's a social thing. It's a social standard now. If you pull up in your work clothes in 1950 and you were a plumber, you got a lot of respect from everybody, and women especially, because you had a good job. You weren't ever going to be out of a job, no matter what the economy did. Today, a woman will look you dead in your face and be like, hell nah. You one of them blue collar workers, ew, get away from me. She want a dude in a suit, not knowing most dudes in the suit in these office jobs, most of them are making 40, 50K. Only 7% of Americans would recommend a technical certificate as the highest level of education for their child or close family member, compared to 26% who would feel comfortable recommending a child or close family member to pursue a bachelor's degree. So the migrants are going to take this job too, guys. If you don't want to take them, a business need, they probably would want a American workforce, but if you want to stay in business, you're going to do what you need to do, and you're going to hire who you need to hire. So this is where we're headed. It's just a warning for you guys, because we got a lot of cover today. So this is the effects of labor shortage, making it difficult to find and retain skilled workers, raising concern about workers having adequate skill levels, making it more challenging to meet project deadlines, often requiring existing workers to do more, which is going to make them quit because they're overworked, requiring the contractors to submit higher bids for project, which is going to make it more expensive for you to come out, for somebody to come out and do their plumbing because the plumbers are such in short supply. Sometimes causing contractors to turn down work because it's just too damn busy, they're overworked. This is what's going on, guys. This is the doom and gloom that we're headed into. Now, let's get into this. And like I said, guys, yes, this is Fox News. But let me click this, because last time this wasn't on YouTube. The sound didn't go through.
Recordings just got better.
But let me stop sharing this. Nah, let's just continue sharing it. Why not?
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recording.
Ad. I want to hear what you got to say. Skip the ad.
We don't know who they are. We don't know their records. We don't know their plans.
Like, let me stop. So before we, what I wanted to tell you guys is, yes, this is Fox News. I know some of you guys are on the left or on the right. I need you guys to take those hats off for a second, because those two hats are irrelevant at this second. This is American people becoming irrelevant to American society.
We don't know who they are. We don't know their records. We don't know their plans. But they can get Glocks. Firearms instructor and Turning Point USA contributor Paige Rue. Paige, does this make any sense to you?
Jesse, I feel like we're still being punked. I'm waiting for someone to come around the curtain and say, don't worry, guys, we're going back to normal.
The right to the Second Amendment is a constitutional right. How do you have constitutional rights and you're not even an American citizen?
Normal. This is another level of just mind-boggling. I train new shooters. I train law-abiding citizens to exercise their Second Amendment right, and they're concerned with, okay, am I following the law? Meanwhile, the government is giving illegals firearms, and then they're saying, oh, but their Second Amendment right is being violated. Last time I checked, the Second Amendment doesn't apply to them. And just like you said, there are some states that are doing a good job. Texas is on the right track. However, this illegal says that he doesn't have a record, but he, like you said, crossed state lines or cross country lines illegally. That's a crime. I think that's a pretty big red flag. And then also he obtained a firearm. He can't obtain a firearm legally if he's an illegal immigrant.
How did he get the firearm?
So that's red flag number 2.
How did he get the gun? It could have been a hot gun and the judge doesn't even care. He can get an illegal gun. He could get a sex change, and then he could probably commit a crime and still stay in this country and be on a pathway to citizenship.
Why aren't you guys outraged? Now, granted, this woman right here, she says she trains she says she trains people to hold. I don't know how true that is. I don't know who this woman is. I wouldn't go because I don't trust women around guns. I just don't. You're not going to train me to do a masculine task. That's not going to work. But why aren't you guys outraged? Why aren't you outraged about this? Why aren't you outraged about Tyson Foods? Why are you not outraged at the university system being overly promoted, just putting you in debt? Why are you not outraged at our politicians and leadership putting everybody else in front of Americans instead of putting Americans first? This is evidence of how weak the modern people are and the modern men are. A lot of you guys talk about founding fathers. A lot of you guys talk about strong men in the past, the silent generation, the greatest generation, all that stuff. They already proved that they were strong, but right now you're proving that you're weak and incapable. You don't have a backbone. And so you guys should be out in the street protesting, doing all this stuff, but nobody wants to do it. Nobody cares. Right? And since nobody cares, it's going to keep happening. Now, here we're going to end the video with this, right? Let me take a big swig of water. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. So Elon Musk has been he's recently been doing his human trials, Neuralink, putting a chip into a person's head and allowing them to control different things. Now, this is where things get crazy. This is where things get crazy. And humanity is getting threatened. First of all, you got migrants coming over and taking your jobs and doing a better job for less money. Then you have artificial intelligence that's going to take your jobs, take everybody's jobs, including the migrants' jobs, and do a better job at it. Where is this? Where does the end go? The end game? We're going to let Elon Musk tell you, but first, let's watch this video and see how crazy this is.
When most people think of Saudi Arabia, they usually only think of our deserts.
Of course.
But we also have.
I'll get to this whenever this ad stops. Give me a second, guys. Five more seconds. Here we go.
Years old. About 8 years ago, I was in kind of a freak diving accident and dislocated my C4, C5. So I'm a complete quadriplegic. So I'm paralyzed from below the shoulders. I love playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do. I had to use like a mouse stick and stuff, but now it's all being done with my brain. If y'all can see the cursor moving around the screen, that's all me, y'all. It's pretty cool, huh?
Actually, can you pause the song just for the audio coming through? And that was also done with your brain?
Yep. It's all brain power up there. So a lot of what we started out with was attempting to move. So I would attempt to move, say, my right hand, left, right, forward. And from there, I think it just became intuitive for me to start imagining the cursor moving. Basically, it was like using the force on a cursor, and I could get it to move wherever I wanted. Just stare somewhere in the screen, and it would move where I wanted it to, which was such a wild experience.
Oh my God. Guys, let me get off that real fast. That's gonna start something else. Guys, I don't know what to tell you guys. Good luck. Good luck. We need human beings to keep producing and having children because that's what keeps our species alive and what keeps our American society sustained. But this is going to sound hypocritical. But guys, the way the world is going right now, you better be careful about having children. Be mindful of the world that they're heading into. And this is not the time. If you have children, this is not the time to coddle them. You need to make them tough MFers. Because the way and how fast everything is going, they're going to need to be intelligent, swift, be set up properly, just for them to function on a day-to-day basis. Like Wally, we're going to Wally, where human beings are going to be non-existent, just fat blobs running around in chairs with electricity, or like iRobot. We thought iRobot was a damn joke. Turns out it's realer than what we thought. Let's end the doom and gloom with this. Let's hear what Elon Musk had to say.
Several tech leaders.
Okay. Let's see.
Elon Musk has expressed support for UBI many times. He said
there will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
And in a 2021 interview with Time magazine, Musk reiterated his support for UBI, saying, I think we're going to have some kind of universal basic income in the future. It's just going to be necessary. There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. Musk hasn't provided specific details about how he would implement UBI, but he said that he believes it is important to find a way to ensure that everyone has a basic level of income, even if they are unable to find a job. Now, his support is significant because he is one of the most influential people in the world, and his views on technology and the future are actually widely followed. His support for UBI could also help to raise awareness of the issue and make it more likely that UBI will be seriously considered as a policy option in the future. But
let me tell you guys, because some of you guys are like, yeah, I'll get to have a Tesla and get to have a 2-story house and I'll be living it up and all this stuff. Um, let me tell you guys about human nature. The people at the top, they're not gonna, if they're making $1 billion, they're not gonna give you all $5 million. They're gonna all give you $50,000 to where you're living in poverty, barely making it. This is why communism doesn't work. This is how revolutions have always started, because the people at the top concentrate their power and give out as little as possible to the rest of the people. So don't get caught up in this UBI and you'll be living a spectacular lifestyle, because you won't. Human beings at the top are greedy and hoarders.
Hold up. This all sounds great, but how can a government actually afford to pay for all of this? I mean, governments already struggle to pay for programs and services. One way is they could raise taxes. This means that everyone would have to pay a little bit more in taxes each year to fund UBI. But
It's communism. That's what starts revolutions. Civil War. The people get taxed too much to the point to where they can't even do the necessities. So that's what makes them mad. The people at the top, they rebel, they have a revolution, establish a new order. That's how that goes. So I'm done with that video. I'm sure you guys are done with the negativity in this video, the harsh realities in this video. I've rambled long enough for you guys. I wish I could give you guys some good advice. If you're in college, get into tech, AI, become medical. Those 2 jobs are the future. But there's even talks about, different surgeries being done by robots and the robots being better at doing the surgeries. So, but let me say this. This is not going to all happen tomorrow. This is not going to all happen within the next 20 years. It's going to be within the next 100, 200, 300 years. That's why I told you guys, if you're going to have children, make sure you raise them properly to be strong people. Because by the time it all hits the fan, we'll be long gone. But your child or your children's children will have to deal with this. So if you're average person right now, try to get into some kind of tech business, get a tech skill, get a blue collar skill. You always have a job. Everything's going towards technology. Migrants going to take everything else. This is just the intro, guys. I'm just giving a warning for you guys. My channel isn't just about talking about women 24/7. We get it. Guys are talking about women, in that specific dating problem is what's causing the migrants to come over. Population issues, not having enough kids, different other things as well. But these are conversations we need to have to brace ourselves in order to make the right decisions going forward. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys took something away. I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Have you guys been paying attention to this? Have you guys been wondering about this? Because oftentimes human beings are procrastinators and they're too late. Don't be one of those human beings where it has to show up to your doorstep in order for you to get it. Because once it shows up to your doorstep, it's too late. You can't go across the border and flee now. You got to fight or deal with it. If you guys catch my drift. So like, comment, subscribe, share the video, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.